respected Professors S.S. Murthy, Dean, IPE, Ms. Suma Ravi, Regional Director, CRI, Mr. Abhishek Ranjan, Global Head, CSR, Brilliant Technology, Dr. Shulagna Sarkar, and Dr. Poonam Singh, IPE. Our delegates, candidates, students, a very warm good morning to one and all present here.
On behalf of the organizing committee, I once again extend a very warm and hearty welcome to one and all to the Institute of Public Enterprise and to this two-day conference on corporate social responsibility organized under the aegis of NLC Chair on CSR, sponsored by ICSSR and supported by ARI, University of Mara, Malaysia.
Today's session, which is the third session on the second day of our two-day conference, is on the theme of CSR through collaborative mode, role of government, corporate and civil society organizations. Now, I would like Ms. Harika to present a bouquet to our Dean, S.S. Murthy.
Our Dean, today's moderator, S.S. Murthy Sir, Chief Coordinator of Placement Cell at IPE, also Coordinator of PGDM BIF. Sir has an experience around 25 years. Sir's areas of interest include finance and accounting. Welcome, sir.
Our speaker for the day is Ms. Suma Ravi, Regional Director, CRI.
Ma'am is a graduate from XLRI, Jamshedpur, class of 87. Ma'am has specialized in business management. Ma'am has worked in computer industry for several years and marketing research industry before moving on to development sector. Now, ma'am is regional head of CRI for South.
I request Harika to please present ma'am with a welcome bouquet. Now I request Harika to present a floral welcome to our Shulagna Sarkar ma'am.
Dr. Shulagna Sarkar is the coordinator of PGDM HRM and co-coordinator of Center for CSR. Dr. Poonam Singh ma'am is the coordinator for Center of CSR.
Now I hand over the session to our Dean, sir.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Respected Ms. Suma Ravi Garu, Dr. Shulagna Sarkar, Dr. Poonam Singh, and distinguished delegates to the conference, students. Yesterday we had a very informative session. The whole day we were talking about CSR and various aspects of CSR. And the discussions will continue today also. This theme being CSR through collaborative mode, role of government, corporate and civil society organizations. The importance of CSR need not be overemphasized with the fact that any company has to spend 2% of profits on CSR activities, a huge amount. And the other day I was speaking to Mr. Parthiban. He was telling that he was handling about 750 crores. It's almost like an entire setup, different organization to deal with CSR activities. But how do you ensure that CSR activities are properly taken up and needy people are actually so for that we require a mechanism. Company has to take the help of NGOs or government or even civil society. CSR as an initiative says that you cannot directly help your own employees or your own children of employees like that. So you have to help the society. So for a corporate, certainly it requires help in the form of taking help from NGOs or government, where they can come together and successfully implement many of the CSR initiatives. And many of the corporate, they take the help of NGOs, and the need is to identify what are the areas or what are the projects we can actually take up under CSR. So CSR as a mode always believes that money has to be properly spent. So today we'll listen to the versions of Suma Devi Garu and also another speaker, Abhishek Ranjan. So how they are actually dealing with these CSR initiatives. I'll speak at the end. I would like to listen to these people. And from the academic perspective, at our institute, already we have a paper on CSR to our students. Corporate social responsibility, we have a paper, and sustainable development, and we also have a paper on corporate governance. So we thought that students should be aware of the developments. So we have papers here, we have faculty working on these areas. My colleagues, Dr. Poonam Singh and Sulagna Sarkar, they are heading this Center for Corporate Social Responsibility, and we have a center on corporate governance, and we have a center on sustainable development. So all the three centers, they do a lot of research on these areas, and they disseminate the research findings through the seminars like this, where we also involve our students in organizing the events, and also we tell them to attend these events so that they get extra inputs related to these areas. So with these brief remarks, I think I will request my colleagues, Sulagna Sarkar, Poonam Singh, I think one of them, they will come here and make presentation. Since there is a break at 10 to 10:30, there is a video conferencing. I can take the liberty of requesting our faculty to stop abruptly. So now I request Dr. Sulagna or Poonam. Right, thank you.
A very good morning again. We extend a very warm welcome to the session on collaborative mode to CSR, the role of corporates, the role of government, and the role of civil society organization. So we are here to discuss the model in brief and to understand what's the role of government in facilitating the model, what is the collaborative approach to CSR, right? To begin with, it's generally said a country without a dream is a dead country. So we are very fortunate, and some may not agree to me, that we definitely have a Prime Minister with lots of dream, a dream for an inclusive India, an India for all, a dream for Swachh India, digital India, skilled India. So with this version that tomorrow's India is an India for all, this is the model that we present, wherein we look where is India of tomorrow, wherein every child has a quality education, every child has an access to quality health. There is a drinking water facility in every house with a sanitation in every house, and when we say make in India, we proudly say we are skilled India, right? So when we look to India, to be an India, they have to cater the world tomorrow to be a superpower. We need to see where do we stand now. And when we see where do we stand now, we are pained to see that there is a huge, enormous gap between where we stand and where we look ourselves to be in future. Very good morning, Abhishek. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, very good morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Abhishek Ranjan, the Global CSR Head of Radio Technology. He is somebody who is, the last time when I met him, I was really impressed with the dedication and commitment he has in the area of CSR. He's researched thoroughly, he's spearheading the CSR initiative in his company, and he is a very renowned speaker in the area of CSR. He writes extensively. So we have a proud privilege to have him with us and listen to his contribution in terms of what do he thinks about the collaborative mode to CSR, the role of corporate. Welcome Mr. Abhishek Ranjan. Once again we extend a very hearty welcome, and the session is all yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Professor. So very good morning to all of you, and a big hello from Bangalore. Thank you for being patient with me and allowing me to speak to video conference. First of all, I'd like to thank Professor Poonam Singh and the entire management of Public Enterprise Institute. When I was discussing with her, I said that, last Saturday I was at IIM Calcutta at the International CSR conference, and I said, can I speak the same thing that I spoke there, so that my job becomes easier and I don't have to prepare further. But she was very reluctant and said, no, Abhishek, you have to speak on the topic, and you have to follow the diktat. I mean, just pun intended. So I think, so there's a lot of buzz around CSR across, and it's a great time to be in this space, and I'm really thankful that each of the time when I'm invited to speak, I have to speak on a different topic. So I think today's topic is all about how the collective impact can be done, right? There are multiple stakeholders, there are internal stakeholders for organizations like us, there are external stakeholders, and then there are plenty of other people who actually makes a difference, right? Look at who are the key stakeholders here we are talking about. So we are talking about corporate, we are talking about CSOs, which is I call NGOs CSOs, the colleges and communities. The 4 C's and then 1 G, with all respect to the G government. So these 4 C's and 1 G, if we all put together, come in a one platform, then only we can make a collective impact. Since I handle a global role where I deal with my CSR in US and Europe, if you look at already the global CSR is all about shared value, and many of you are already aware about what is the 3 P's: the people, planet, and profit. No longer companies are talking about just profit, where communities benefit from corporate and corporates benefit from community. So that's a model already has been established globally, which we call it shared value. And but Indian CSR is a little different from the shared value. I think globally everybody is talking about sustainability, right? We see how much concern we have for environment. And look at a fantastic example we have Telangana. So the last month I met the IT Secretary, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, who is the current IT Secretary of Telangana. And he was mentioning about at a NASCOM event in Bombay that how he had made one of the villages 110% digital, which is called Basar village in Telangana. And he seek to support that why can't all the corporates, the IT companies situated in Hyderabad come forward and support this initiative. So already there are a lot of partnerships are happening. Yesterday I was reading a news article about how the Mumbai-Pune Expressway is getting completely fatal-free with the help of Mahindras and others. So a lot of initiatives are like that. So I can talk about from IT industry a great example about NDL, the National Digital Literacy Mission. More than hundreds of IT companies have come forward and joined hands with the government to actually make villages, slums, and even the cities completely digital literate. Our company is also part of it. So there are a lot of synergies are happening. Look at the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, how has it kicked up? You see corporates, you see communities, you see colleges. So I think where the entire stakeholder is involved for it, right? I'm not saying there is a quick solution for any of the problems we are mentioning, but we have to look for a long run, and that's the only way out. We can be optimistic about things happening, and we should be optimistic. Let's say about the government schools, right? Majority of corporates, they support government schools. So one of the examples, one of the suggestions and examples from the experiences we have. So I think every government school, whether it's in a village or a taluka or a city or a town, will have some kind of corporate presence, maybe a bank there, maybe some other setup. Why can't we look at somebody, every school has a management committee, right? And why can't we look at some of the corporates, the whole school adoption program, or be a part of their management committee, so we can work together. So that's a very grassroots, because the kind of money the government of India or the state governments are spending on education, I don't think any corporates can match that. Only we can supplement the government effort, and that's what the whole collectiveness is there. Look at the examples what colleges can do. Well, I mean, we will be surprised that all the tier 1B schools and the institutions of repute like yours is organizing CSR conference and giving utmost importance and putting CSR in the content calendar. It is a part of your curriculum. These leaders, the future leaders of businesses who are already has been trained on CSR, have already been trained about the social responsibility part. So I think institutions have to play. There's a huge challenge. You have 3 million NGOs in this country, and the capacity building, the training of these NGOs manpower. You don't have many courses where the corporate CSR leaders or the NGO leaders can have a formal training program. There are few. I was aware that even your institutions is doing something on that around, but I think there's a need of that. So I think these 4 C's, I repeat, the corporate, CSOs, colleges and communities, and with 1 G can make a huge collective impact. So there's a huge growing belief in India that now the corporates should not compete together. I can give you an example in Bangalore how the IT companies are working. While we compete on businesses, we compete for the same businesses, same market, but when it comes to CSR, we collaborate like a friends. I mean, if I ask any top secret from my counterpart in Cognizant or TCS or Infosys, they will never share. We will exchange mails on that. But look at CSR also. We say, hey guys, which NGO you are working, and I will share which are the connections. So that's a kind of collaboration already happening with the companies in Bangalore, and we have a regular interactions in the forums. CIA has taken initiative to form some kind of a consortium of companies where these tier 1 companies, traditional companies like ACC Cements and likewise Jindals and so many more, they have actually come up to form a consortium so that these guys can actually have some kind of a collective effort. Similarly, NASSCOM, which is an industry body for IT industry, has done similar exercise. They're bringing a lot of IT companies, a lot of small, medium enterprises to come forward and do a collective effort. So I think there are lots of happening. I think there always a room to do more and more. Let me step back and talk a little about how the CSR has been so far. I think the government has made an amazing step by introducing a bill. I think if the companies were responsive enough and they were doing their responsibility, I think the government had never to step in. Look at America. The corporate America spends nearly 5% of their pre-profit on philanthropy and charity and what not so. I think if the corporate India had the will to do the corporate responsibility, had they shown the responsibility, there was no responsibility has been imposed by the government. And I think, and that law has made us, to discuss and put CSR and the whole social development sector on a pedestal. I think that's a welcome move from the government, and we should be appreciating. And gone are the days people are talking about, debating about whether we should have a 2%, 1%, or no percent, or whatever. I think now everybody is talking about impact, and impact can only happen when we do all this stakeholder, the 4 C's and 1 G, come together and make an impact. I can talk about my company, which is a global IT MNC, and our CSR program name is Bringing Smiles. If you look at Bringing Smiles, the kind of effort, so we are a $100 million company, and we placed that we will be spending $1 million on CSR, which is a 1% of our revenue. Which is, if you look in a profit terms, it's beyond 5 to 6%. I mean, it's like, on a very global standard what corporate America is doing. And most of our programs are measured in terms of outcomes. What's exact ROI. So I think gone are the days when we get charity, philanthropy, and check donations and check CSR is going to exist. And that's where the model is. And most of our programs have employee engagement as one of the key things, right? And we are a believer that digital, as a technology company, how digital can divide how digital can gap the divide with what we have in haves and have-nots. And that's the focus we have, that how we can go to the masses, to entire country, through digital route. And we are supporting the whole digital India, as well as the digital education, literacy, and skill development. So those are the initiatives we have. One of the other challenges, what I see, I think in the room, we may have a lot of NGOs sitting out there. There's a little bit of distrust I see whenever I interact with, the various forums. I think, it's an evolving space where corporates have to come closer to how NGO works, how to understand their grassroots problem, and, help them in capacity building. So one of the projects we do here is we help NGOs in capacity building. Few months back, we had around 70 NGOs in Bangalore, and most of them from Andhra Pradesh. They came over for a 2 or 3 days training program, and majority of them didn't have an ATG or they didn't have a certification from the government. So the organizations out here try to help, and I was invited to speak how these NGOs can do fundraise. So I would like to just share a few lines about that. Is that any NGOs, if you are sitting in a room and want to get a funding from any of the organizations, kindly first go to the website. Each company has been mandated to put their CSR policy on website. And while going on the website, you'll understand what kind of project this particular company is doing. And once you have gone through it, understood that this is the company focusing on, let's say, on literacy, or this company focusing on healthcare, you can decide whether this is a fit for you. So, and if we look at the Indian CSR policy, we have to follow 8 steps. It's no longer, as I said, no longer a check philanthropy. So even on a corporate level, we have to follow a lot of checks and balances. We have internal stakeholders. The biggest thing happened with the new CSR law, that the CSR has gone to the boardroom. Who is responsible? If tomorrow something goes wrong, not people like me is going to be hanged, but actually the people are sitting in the board level, the board committee, the independent director, or the chairman or CEOs of the company. That's where the accountability is stopping. So I think that's the beauty of it. So many people have believed that why don't the government has put a 2% tax. Government was easily had put a 2% tax on the existing corporate taxes in, and the whole parliament have been solved. But the whole philosophy of putting this CSR law, in my opinion, was not to tax the corporates. The idea was that how corporate can bring their expertise, their people, and a little bit of fun. I mean, we are talking about $3 billion, 2,000 plus crore, which is like even few percentage of one ministry of a government. I mean, I'm talking about the collective expense of all the companies put together. How many companies are we talking about? We're talking about roughly 15,000 companies only under the CSR lens as in today, who fulfill